6 reasons why silence is your secret to success. Stoic philosophy, Stoicism. In today's modern world, where noise, visibility, and constant validation dominate our definition of success, silence is often overlooked. But what if I told you that the quietest moments could hold the most powerful keys to success? Imagine this. You're sitting alone, reflecting on your life, away from the distractions and the need for approval. In those moments, deep insights arise. The same insights that ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, lived by. Modern Stoicism teaches us that true success isn't about shouting your accomplishments to the world. Instead, it's about cultivating inner strength, self-discipline, and resilience in the quiet spaces of your life. The Stoic secrets of silence reveal that success lies not in seeking constant external validation, but in working diligently behind the scenes in solitude, allowing your results to speak for themselves. In this video, I'll share 6 reasons why silence is your secret to success, how it shapes your personal growth, boosts your productivity, strengthens relationships, and ultimately leads to a more meaningful life. Stick with me, and let's explore how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can help you navigate today's noisy world and harness the power of silence for lasting success. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life. Before we begin, I hope you enjoy this video. If you're ready to explore the power of silence and its role in success, drop a "ready to listen" in the comments below so I know you're on the journey with me. But if you're not quite on board yet, feel free to comment 0 so I can improve and make better content for you. Now let's dive into this journey together and explore the power of silence in the pursuit of success. 6 reasons why silence is your secret to success. Number 1. Control what you can control. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to get caught up in the constant noise around us. The opinions of others, social media trends, and the endless cycle of validation seeking can overwhelm us. But what if I told you that true success, the kind that brings inner peace and lasting growth, is rooted not in external approval, but in the silence we cultivate within ourselves? This is where Stoicism offers profound wisdom, and it all begins with learning to control what you can control. Think about it. How often do you find yourself consumed with things outside of your control? Worrying about how others perceive you, whether you're getting enough likes or praise, or even wondering what people will say about your choices. This external noise can create unnecessary stress and keep us stuck in a cycle of seeking validation. Stoicism teaches us that this is a futile path. Instead, we are reminded to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and responses. When we quiet the external world, we can turn our attention inward and ask, what truly matters to me? Am I using my time wisely to improve my skills and grow in ways that align with my values? This is where silence becomes a powerful tool. By embracing silence, you break free from the pressure to conform and learn to trust your inner voice. It's about fostering emotional stability and self-sufficiency, no longer relying on fleeting approval or worrying about criticism. When we stop chasing external validation, we can use that energy to invest in personal growth, developing a mastery of our craft and deepening our knowledge. I want you to think of a chess grandmaster for a moment. No matter how loud the crowd gets, no matter how many eyes are on them, their focus remains solely on the game. They make each move with intention, unaffected by outside distractions. This is a powerful image of how we can navigate life. When we embrace silence, we can approach challenges with clarity, making decisions based on wisdom instead of impulsive reactions. In this stillness, you find your strength. By letting go of the need to control how others see you, you reclaim your energy, your focus, and your drive for meaningful progress. How often do you let external opinions dictate your choices? What would happen if you gave yourself the permission to step back, embrace silence, and focus solely on your own path? This shift is liberating. True success doesn't depend on the applause or judgment of others. It lies in the integrity of your actions and the consistency of your efforts. This is a key principle of modern Stoicism, finding peace in the things you can control and letting go of the rest. This discipline requires practice, but the results are life-changing. Silence is not a void, it is fertile ground for growth. When you quiet the external noise, you give yourself the space to grow into the person you are meant to be. And when you do this, the rewards are not just external, they are deeply internal, bringing a peace that no external validation can offer. So, I ask you, what might happen in your life if you stopped chasing approval and started investing in your own development? Could silence be the secret to unlocking your true potential? If you want to be the master of your life, start by mastering the art of silence, and you will find success, not in the eyes of others, but in the quiet strength that comes from within. Number 2. Silence builds patience and discipline. In today's world where everything seems to demand instant results, it's easy to overlook the virtues of patience and discipline. Yet, if we're truly committed to lasting success, we must learn to embrace these qualities. Working in silence, away from the distractions of external validation and constant feedback, is one of the best ways to cultivate patience and discipline. When we stop seeking immediate recognition and approval, we free ourselves from the anxiety of others' expectations and allow ourselves to stay focused on the journey ahead. This is where the Stoic secrets come in. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius profoundly understood this when he said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He believed that true growth occurs in solitude, where we learn to trust in the process and not in fleeting rewards. Silence is the ultimate tool for developing this mindset, as it teaches us to delay gratification, an essential skill for mastering any craft. In silence, we are forced to reflect and focus on what truly matters, the steady, unglamorous work of personal development. This is exactly why silence builds patience and discipline. It's a test of your ability to continue when no one's watching, no one's cheering you on. Silence forces us to confront our weaknesses, as it reveals the raw truth of our efforts without the distraction of others' praise or criticism. The real challenge lies in overcoming the urge to seek instant approval or external validation. Like an athlete who spends countless hours training in solitude, away from the spotlight, true discipline isn't about impressing others. It's about staying committed to excellence for its own sake. Take the example of an Olympic athlete. They spend years perfecting their skills, day in and day out, without receiving immediate recognition or applause. In fact, they are often isolated from the limelight during their grueling training sessions. Their success isn't built on external validation but on their relentless pursuit of personal mastery. This kind of dedication comes from within, from an understanding that mastery takes time, effort, and most importantly, patience. In much the same way, when you practice silence in your own life, you train yourself to remain steady through the inevitable setbacks and frustrations that come with any long-term endeavor. The beauty of silence is that it strengthens your resolve. When you stop obsessing over immediate rewards and instead focus on gradual improvement, you learn the value of persistence. Every day spent in silence builds a stronger foundation of resilience, helping you stay the course even when progress feels slow. As the Stoics teach us, patience isn't just waiting, it's how we act during the wait. It's about staying calm and composed while knowing that every small effort you put in today contributes to the larger picture of your future success. When you commit to working in silence, you're not merely avoiding distractions. You're developing the mental fortitude to endure through hardships, trusting that success will come, but only through consistent effort. This is why silence is not just a pause from noise. It's a powerful tool for transformation. It's a constant reminder that success doesn't come from shortcuts or quick fixes. It comes from those quiet moments, alone with our thoughts, where we refine our craft and focus on long-term growth. Stoic secrets tell us that the path to greatness is often paved with solitude and silence. As you embrace these moments, remember that silence doesn't only teach patience and discipline, it also nurtures resilience, helping you grow stronger with each passing challenge. So take a step back from the rush of the world and in the quiet, rediscover the power to stay the course, knowing that true success is built on silent persistence. Number 3. Silence enhances focus and productivity. Silence is more than just an absence of sound. It is a powerful tool that allows you to focus deeply and unlock your full potential. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Notifications, social media, and the constant buzz of external noise. In such a noisy environment, the ability to work without interruption has become rare, but increasingly essential. Silence creates the space to think critically, engage fully in the task at hand, and enter a state of flow, where work becomes effortless, immersive, and highly productive. In this quietude, your true potential can be realized. Throughout history, some of the greatest minds recognized the importance of solitude. Albert Einstein, for example, often withdrew into silence for long periods, letting his thoughts grow and develop without distractions. Silence sharpens our minds and enhances critical thinking, problem solving, and the quality of our work. As Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "The greatest remedy for fear is the discovery of silence. It is in these moments of stillness that we can block out external expectations and listen to our inner voice, gaining clarity and wisdom. When we let distractions dominate our lives, our attention becomes fragmented, which reduces our ability to focus and increases stress. Constant feedback and communication only serve to break our concentration. By embracing silence, however, we protect our mental energy and regain the focus needed to excel. For instance, an author writing a novel might struggle to maintain the flow of their ideas if they constantly seek validation or feedback. But by working in silence, their ideas evolve naturally, resulting in a more cohesive and powerful narrative. This principle applies to all fields, whether you're in business, art, or science. Deep work thrives in solitude. In today's hyper-connected world, it might seem counterproductive to retreat into silence. We're constantly encouraged to network, collaborate, and share ideas. Yet, as philosopher Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Similarly, productivity isn't about having endless tools or multitasking. It's about minimizing the distractions that keep us from doing meaningful work. Silence helps you tune out the unnecessary and focus on what truly matters, giving you the space to think deeply and critically. To harness the power of silence, it's essential to make it a daily practice. This doesn't mean avoiding interaction altogether, but setting aside dedicated time to retreat into stillness. Whether it's an hour of focused work in the morning or a quiet walk in the evening, these moments of silence can significantly boost your productivity. Modern Stoicism teaches us that the quality of our lives is not determined by the external noise, but by how we choose to respond to it. By incorporating silence into our daily routines, we create a sense of inner peace that allows us to engage more effectively with the world around us. In our fast-paced, constantly changing environment, silence is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Prioritizing silence can enhance your efficiency, reduce stress, and unleash creativity that is often stifled by the constant barrage of external noise. You don't need to be a genius like Einstein to understand the importance of silence. Whether you're writing, creating, solving problems, or simply reflecting, silence is the space where your best work can emerge. In a world that never stops, embracing silence may very well be the secret to your success. If you've made it this far, you've already tapped into a powerful tool that can enhance your focus and productivity: silence. To truly harness its power, it's important to embrace quiet moments and block out the distractions that surround you. Now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment saying, Silence fuels my success, to show your commitment to using silence as a tool for clarity, creativity, and deep work. Stay with us. Your journey to a more focused and productive life is just beginning. Number 4. Create value, not noise. In today's fast-paced world, it often feels like being visible is the same as having value. So many people believe that success comes from constant self-promotion and being the loudest voice in the room. But here's an important truth. Real impact doesn't come from making noise, it comes from creating value. If you truly want to succeed in a meaningful and lasting way, you must focus on what you're contributing to the world, not how much attention you're getting. Take a moment to think about the people you truly admire and respect. Are they the ones who talk the loudest? Or are they the ones who consistently produce work that speaks for itself? The most respected individuals are rarely those who shout about their accomplishments. Instead, they're the ones who, through quiet and relentless dedication, make a significant, lasting impact. This idea is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that success should never be measured by how much recognition we receive, but by the quality and depth of our work. Constantly publicizing every little achievement only waters down its meaning and value. True greatness lies in working silently, honing your craft in solitude until the work is ready to be shared with the world. History is full of examples of people who understood this well. Think of Nikola Tesla or Leonardo da Vinci. These geniuses didn't make a spectacle of their progress every step of the way. They worked diligently behind the scenes, refining their ideas, perfecting their skills, and only revealed their masterpieces once they were complete. The impact they made wasn't the result of the buzz or attention they created, but the substance and excellence of their work. Now consider a startup company working on an innovative product. If they spent their time seeking approval or trying to generate excitement before their product was fully ready, they would end up setting themselves up for failure. They would create unrealistic expectations, add unnecessary pressure, and risk disappointing their audience. But when they choose to work quietly and focus on perfecting their product behind the scenes, they can ensure that by the time they launch, the product is polished and ready for success. The same principle applies to your personal life. Are you spending too much time chasing recognition and approval instead of putting that energy into perfecting your craft? When you prioritize creating value over seeking attention, the true worth of your contributions will naturally shine through. This is one of the key Stoic secrets to lasting success. Don't measure your worth by how much noise you make, but by the quality of the work you produce. It's not about showing off your accomplishments, it's about putting in the quiet, steady work that leads to extraordinary results. The lesson here is simple yet powerful. Silence is not merely the absence of noise. It is the space where great work is born. So the next time you're tempted to share every little win or shout about what you've done, ask yourself, am I truly focused on building something meaningful and valuable that will stand the test of time, or am I just trying to be heard in the moment? When you choose silence and substance over spectacle, you'll discover that your success will be far deeper, richer, and more enduring than any temporary popularity could ever be. Number 5. Silence fosters intrinsic motivation. Have you ever found yourself working hard toward a goal, only to feel discouraged when you don't receive the praise or recognition you were expecting? It's a common experience. But what if I told you that the secret to lasting motivation lies not in external validation, but in silence? Modern Stoicism teaches us that the most powerful drive we can have comes from within. You see, when we rely on external rewards, like applause, praise, or social approval, we make our motivation fragile. It's like building a house on sand. External validation can fade, leaving us feeling empty and disconnected from our own purpose. But when we embrace silence, we turn our focus inward, and that's when things start to shift. Silence forces us to confront a crucial question. Why do we do what we do? If your answer is because of what others think of you, then your motivation is unstable and temporary. But if you do it because of your personal commitment to excellence, your motivation becomes unshakable. It's rooted in the joy of growth and self-improvement rather than the fleeting satisfaction of recognition. Think about it. True fulfillment comes from the process of getting better, not from what others say about your progress. This is the essence of intrinsic motivation. It's the fire that keeps burning even when no one is watching, even when the applause is silent. Consider the example of a scientist working tirelessly on a complex experiment. Imagine if their motivation depended only on getting public recognition for their work. What happens when the world doesn't immediately see their genius? They could become discouraged, frustrated, and eventually give up. But what if their motivation came from within, driven by curiosity, a passion for discovery, and the satisfaction of pushing the boundaries of knowledge? In that case, setbacks become part of the journey, not a reason to quit. The scientist continues, because their motivation is grounded in something deeper, something more meaningful than a pat on the back. This is the strength that silence fosters. When you choose silence, you cultivate the ability to stay true to your goals, even when no one is cheering you on. It builds inner resilience, and this is the key to achieving lasting success. Those who are driven by external praise often falter when that praise disappears. But those who cultivate internal motivation stay the course, progressing through challenges with unwavering determination. It's in this silence, this inner commitment, that the real growth happens. And I want you to ask yourself, where is your motivation coming from? Are you relying on the approval of others to fuel your ambition? Or are you cultivating the kind of internal drive that thrives regardless of external circumstances? The Stoics believed that true success is found not in how the world views us, but in how we view ourselves. It's in our ability to stay grounded, focused, and committed to our personal growth, no matter what others think. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only thing you can't give up. You can only give it up." In the same way, your inner motivation is your freedom. It cannot be taken away by criticism or praise. It's yours to nurture and strengthen. So I encourage you to take a moment to reflect. What drives you? Is it the fleeting approval of others, or is it the satisfaction of mastering your craft, overcoming obstacles, and growing stronger each day? In the quiet of your own thoughts, that's where the most powerful motivation lies. It's the key to achieving lasting success, the kind that doesn't fade when the applause stops. So let silence be your guide, and let your own inner drive propel you to greatness. Number 6. Let your results speak for themselves. In a world where everyone seems to be shouting about their achievements, those who let their results speak for themselves rise above the noise. We've all seen it. People constantly promoting themselves, their every move an attempt to gain attention. But the truly respected individuals are rarely the loudest. They are the ones whose work stands as undeniable proof of their ability. This is one of the profound Stoic secrets that can shape our lives. True mastery doesn't require validation. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Those who truly excel don't need to boast. Their achievements speak louder than words ever could. When you stop focusing on seeking recognition and start dedicating yourself to your craft, you naturally build a reputation based on substance and not spectacle. What I've found is that by focusing on the work itself, rather than seeking the applause of others, you build something far more lasting: respect. The world often rewards flash and presentation, but true success is grounded in consistent effort and dedication. The most respected figures in any field are those whose reputation has been built on their results, not their ability to promote themselves. People know who they are and what they've accomplished without having to hear about it constantly. The results they've delivered speak for themselves. This is why Stoicism advocates for an inner focus, encouraging us to remove the need for external validation. In this pursuit, credibility isn't built through self-promotion. It's earned through consistent, meaningful action. Take the example of an entrepreneur working to build a business. It's easy to get caught up in marketing yourself, talking about the vision, and promoting how great your product is. But if you spend more time promoting than creating, your success is unlikely to endure. A business that's built on grand promises but lacks the substance to back them up will never stand the test of time. True success, however, comes from focusing on what you can control: the product, the service, the experience you offer. By investing in creating something of real value, your reputation grows naturally. Your work becomes the story, and your results speak louder than any self-promoting campaign ever could. In fact, the less you focus on promoting yourself, the more people will take notice of your work. This principle holds true not just in business, but in all areas of life. Whether you're in a creative field, a professional environment, or personal relationships, it's your actions, your results that define you. People will notice your dedication, your reliability, and your ability to deliver, and that is how you build a reputation that lasts. There's something deeply powerful about letting your results do the talking. It's not about waiting for approval or acknowledgement. It's about trusting that your consistent effort will eventually make your success undeniable. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. Control what you can, work diligently, and let your work speak for itself. By embracing this approach, you tap into one of the most profound Stoic secrets to success. Instead of seeking validation from others, you find your worth within your actions. In summary, silence is a powerful tool that directly influences key aspects of our personal and professional success. It teaches us to control only what we can, instills patience and discipline, enhances our focus, helps us create true value, fosters intrinsic motivation, and reminds us to let our results speak louder than words. By embracing silence, we allow ourselves to grow, prosper, and ultimately succeed in ways words alone cannot capture. As we transition to the next section, let's explore how silence not only fuels success, but also serves as a cornerstone for deeper personal growth and life transformation. You'll be surprised by how silence enriches your life in ways you might not have imagined. The power of silence in life and growth. Before we dive into the profound impact of silence on life and growth, I encourage you to reflect on the ways silence has already influenced your own journey. Stay with us as we explore the broader scope of silence's transformative power. Keep watching, and you might just find that silence holds more wisdom than you ever thought. Number 1. Strengthens critical thinking. Silence is a powerful tool that plays a crucial role in sharpening our ability to think critically, which is something we often overlook in today's fast-paced world. We live in a time where opinions are formed in mere seconds and shared instantly, making the capacity for deep reflection increasingly rare. But critical thinking, true, thoughtful analysis, requires more than a quick response. It demands time, patience, and the ability to step back from immediate reactions. This is where silence comes into play. By embracing silence, you give yourself the space to step outside the noise, allowing your mind to process information thoroughly, assess situations from multiple angles, and form conclusions that are well-reasoned, rather than impulsive. In this stillness, you can carefully examine the facts, think critically, and make decisions based on logic rather than emotion or external pressures. In fact, the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Silence allows us to pause, allowing the space needed to clear the mental clutter and approach situations with a calm, collected mind. Critical thinking at its core is about making decisions rooted in logic, not in quick emotional reactions. It's easy to fall into the trap of reacting instinctively, especially in a world where constant feedback and information bombard us. But when you practice silence, you create the distance necessary to detach from knee-jerk reactions and instead question assumptions, consider multiple viewpoints, and think about the long-term implications of your decisions. The more you embrace silence, the less likely you are to be swayed by fleeting opinions or pressures. It helps you become more objective and balanced in your approach, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with wisdom. Those who cultivate this habit are more likely to make thoughtful choices that align with their values, rather than being driven by momentary emotions or outside influences. For example, a judge in a courtroom needs to remain silent and thoughtful before delivering a verdict. If they reacted hastily, they could make a decision that isn't fair or just. By taking a moment of silence, they ensure their judgment is measured and well-founded. This same practice of thoughtful consideration applies to all of us in our daily lives, whether we're making a major life decision, handling a conflict, or responding to a stressful situation. By incorporating silence into your routine, you're essentially training your mind to pause before reacting. This practice is not only about avoiding rash decisions, but also about ensuring that the decisions you make reflect your deeper understanding and true values. In modern Stoicism, this idea is central. It's not the external world that dictates our responses, but how we choose to engage with it. The noise around us can influence us, but silence enables us to process our thoughts more clearly, helping us act with intentionality and mindfulness. Silence offers a much-needed reprieve from the chaotic world and gives us the space to think deeply, helping us live with wisdom and clarity. In a world that constantly urges us to act quickly and react immediately, silence becomes not just a tool, but a powerful antidote to the pressures that seek to cloud our judgment. It helps us slow down, make thoughtful decisions, and ultimately live with more purpose and direction. Number 2, leads to self-discovery. In today's noisy, fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos and lose sight of who we truly are. How often do you find yourself rushing through the day without pausing to listen to your own thoughts? In a world filled with constant distractions and external opinions, self-discovery can feel like an elusive goal. But here's the truth. Silence is your key to unlocking a deeper understanding of yourself. I'm sure you've heard that saying, and the answers are within you. The challenge, though, is creating space to hear them. When we step away from the noise, when we embrace silence, that's when true self-awareness begins. Think about it. Without silence, how can we truly know our own desires, values, and aspirations? Without reflection, it's easy to let external influences dictate who we are and what we want, rather than tapping into our own inner wisdom. Silence is the tool that allows us to connect with our most authentic self. It's only in quiet moments of contemplation that we can sift through the distractions and gain clarity on what really matters to us. Take a moment to ask yourself, how much of your life is shaped by the opinions of others? How often do you base your decisions on what society expects from you instead of what you truly desire? The practice of self-reflection in silence is about removing the noise, both from the world and from within, to hear your own voice more clearly. I want to share a modern story with you. Consider the experience of someone struggling with career choices. In today's society, it's easy to feel pressured to follow a certain path, whether it's a job, a degree, or a lifestyle that others expect of you. But imagine someone stepping away from all of that, quietly reflecting, shutting out the noise and asking themselves what they really want. In that stillness, they might realize that their true passion lies elsewhere, not in the career they've been pursuing. This moment of silence allows them to make a decision that is authentic to who they are, rather than what others think they should be, and that's powerful. This is one of the Stoic secrets, the importance of stepping back from the world to reconnect with your inner self. The Stoics believed that in silence, we find clarity. They knew that self-discovery doesn't come from external validation, but from the quiet moments where we listen to our own hearts. So the next time you're overwhelmed with choices or caught in the rush of life, take a moment to pause. Reflect. What is it that you truly want? What is your purpose? This simple practice of embracing silence will lead you to a deeper understanding of yourself, making your decisions more intentional and your life more fulfilling. The lesson here is clear. Silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's the space where we discover who we really are and what truly matters. By embracing this stillness, you'll uncover the strength to live a life that is not shaped by others, but by the true desires of your own heart. So I ask you, what will you discover about yourself when you choose silence over the noise? Will you dare to listen to your inner voice and follow it toward a life of greater purpose and fulfillment? If you've made it this far, you're truly someone seeking wisdom and clarity. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this journey of self-discovery. Drop a comment below with your personal commitment to embracing silence in your life. You can even share a slogan that captures the essence of self-reflection. Something like listen to your inner voice. Keep embracing the quiet moments and see where they lead you. Number 3, enhances relationships. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone just won't stop talking, leaving you feeling unheard or even frustrated? We all have, and it's easy to assume that communication is just about talking. But the truth is, silence plays a much more powerful role in building meaningful relationships than you might realize. Modern Stoicism teaches us that true connection doesn't come from dominating conversations or constantly sharing our thoughts. It comes from the quiet act of listening. When we embrace silence, we give others the space they need to be heard. Think about it. How often do you actually listen to someone without planning your next response or thinking about what you're going to say next? If you're honest with yourself, it's easy to get caught up in the need to speak. But real listening, the kind that builds strong, lasting relationships, requires us to be present and patient. Silence allows us to process our emotions, think before reacting, and create a space for empathy. It keeps us from jumping to conclusions or saying things in the heat of the moment that we might regret. In relationships, this pause is essential. It helps prevent unnecessary arguments and misunderstandings. And let's be real. How often have you said something you didn't mean simply because you didn't take a moment of silence to think before responding? The power of silence is that it gives us control over how we express ourselves, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Let me share an example that might resonate with you. Think about how therapists use silence during their sessions. They don't feel the need to fill every moment with words. Instead, they give their clients the space to think, reflect, and open up. His silence isn't awkward or uncomfortable, it's purposeful. It invites a deeper level of communication. The same approach can be applied to your personal relationships. When you stop rushing to fill the silence with your own words, you make room for the other person to express themselves fully. By doing so, you build a deeper understanding and mutual respect. How often do you truly listen when someone is speaking to you? I'm not talking about hearing the words, but truly listening to the meaning behind them. How often do you pause, give them space to elaborate, and allow the conversation to unfold without interrupting or dominating the flow? In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the pressure to speak, especially with social media encouraging us to always be on, always sharing, always posting. But the Stoics remind us that silence is a form of strength, not weakness. It's an act of discipline and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Silence helps us clear away the noise, allowing us to cultivate thoughts that lead to better relationships and deeper connections. It's not about shutting people out. It's about creating space for more meaningful conversations, for listening with intention and empathy. And so I ask you, what would happen if you started practicing more silence in your interactions? If you allowed yourself to simply listen without immediately responding or filling the space with your thoughts? I believe you would notice a profound shift in your relationships. By allowing silence to guide your communication, you'll find that your relationships become richer, more authentic, and more fulfilling. You'll understand others better, and they'll feel truly heard. In a world where everyone is talking, being the person who listens might be the most powerful thing you can do. This is a key principle of modern Stoicism, understanding that silence, not just words, can foster the deepest connections and the most meaningful relationships. So, next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember that sometimes the most valuable thing you can offer is your quiet presence and your willingness to listen. It's not always about what you say, it's about how you make others feel. Number 4. Cultivates emotional control. Emotional control is undoubtedly one of the most valuable skills you can develop in today's fast-paced world, and silence plays a pivotal role in mastering this skill. In the rush of daily life, we often react impulsively to situations, letting emotions like anger, stress, or frustration drive our decisions. This can lead to actions we later regret. The beauty of silence is that it offers a pause, a moment of stillness between the stimulus, the situation, and our response. In this space, we have the opportunity to process our emotions and respond with intention rather than reflex. This is one of the key Stoic secrets, the ability to choose how we react rather than being swept away by immediate emotional impulses. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In other words, how we choose to respond is far more important than the event itself. By embracing silence, you begin to train yourself to manage your emotions, especially in high-stress situations where emotional control is crucial. Silence allows you to detach from the immediate pull of your feelings and gain the clarity needed to respond thoughtfully. In this way, you're not merely reacting to the moment, but rather creating a space in which you can make decisions grounded in wisdom and logic. For instance, think of how much easier it is to make rash decisions when you're in the heat of anger or frustration. The impulse to lash out or act impulsively can be overwhelming, but silence provides the mental pause that allows you to step back and regain control of your emotions. This skill is especially critical in leadership roles. Picture yourself as a leader facing a crisis. The pressure is immense, and everyone is looking to you for guidance. If you were to react emotionally, whether it's with panic, frustration, or anger, the decisions you make might be clouded by those emotions. Not only could this jeopardize the outcome, but it could also negatively impact your team. On the other hand, if you practice silence and emotional control, you give yourself the space to remain calm, assess the situation, and make decisions that are rational and well-considered. In moments of tension, your ability to stay composed will not only help you navigate through difficult situations, but also earn you the respect and trust of those around you. In modern life, this kind of emotional control is more important than ever. We live in a world where everything moves at lightning speed, and it's easy to get swept up in the chaos of day-to-day challenges. Yet, the ability to remain calm and respond thoughtfully is what sets the most successful individuals apart. Whether in your personal life or at work, silence can be your most powerful tool in managing stress and responding to challenges with composure. Just like a seasoned leader, you can practice silence in your daily interactions. The more you give yourself space to think and reflect, the more you'll find that your emotional reactions become less driven by impulse and more grounded in reason and clarity. Over time, this will strengthen your ability to make better decisions and maintain a sense of control, no matter the pressure you're facing. These Stoic secrets, practices of reflection, silence, and emotional control, are the foundation for navigating life with steadiness and wisdom. Number 5. Fuels creativity. Silence is a powerful catalyst for creativity. Throughout history, many of the world's most brilliant artists, musicians, and writers sought out solitude to nurture their ideas. When we remove ourselves from the constant hum of distractions, we create the mental space necessary for innovation. In silence, our minds are free to roam, explore new possibilities, and push the boundaries of creativity. It's in these quiet moments that true breakthroughs happen. Noise in all its forms, be it the rush of information or the chatter of others, clutters our minds and stifles the very flow of new ideas. But in the stillness, the mind is liberated to wander, connect seemingly unrelated concepts, and come up with fresh, unique solutions to problems. Consider, for example, the process of creating a film. A filmmaker who is constantly exposed to outside opinions may find their original vision diluted or redirected by the views of others. They might feel the pressure to cater to what others expect, rather than trusting their own creative instincts. By seeking silence, they can protect their creative integrity and allow their ideas to unfold organically, free from external influences. In this space, they are able to follow their own thoughts without compromise, ensuring that their work remains true to their unique perspective. This principle holds true for any creative endeavor, whether you're an artist, a writer, a musician, or even a business professional brainstorming new ideas. Creativity thrives in solitude. In today's world, where distractions are ever present and the pressure to be constantly on is overwhelming, silence can seem counterintuitive. We're told to network, collaborate, and seek validation from others to succeed. But as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In the same way, creativity isn't about constantly seeking external input. It's about clearing away the noise and allowing space for new ideas to emerge. Silence provides that space, a sanctuary where creativity can blossom, unencumbered by the opinions and demands of others. Modern Stoicism teaches us that we are not defined by the external world, but by how we respond to it. By embracing silence, we choose to respond with intentionality, creating the mental and emotional space necessary to foster creativity. In a world that often prioritizes speed and multitasking, the practice of silence allows us to slow down, think deeply, and explore new avenues of thought. It's within this quiet space that the seeds of innovation are planted, and it's only through embracing this silence that we can give our creative instincts the room they need to thrive. Silence isn't just a break from the noise. It is the fertile ground where your best ideas can take root and grow. By incorporating silence into your life, you unlock a wellspring of creativity that can propel you toward new and exciting possibilities, allowing you to live more intentionally and produce work that truly reflects your vision. Number 6. Protects you from manipulation. In a world where everyone is constantly vying for attention and trying to sway your thoughts, silence becomes one of your most powerful tools. You might not realize it, but staying quiet can protect you from manipulation and prevent others from controlling your emotions or decisions. Think about it. How often do you hear a persuasive argument or face pressure to make a quick decision, only to realize later that you acted impulsively? Silence gives you the space to stop, think, and process before responding, rather than getting swept up in the moment. This is one of the Stoic secrets: the ability to pause, reflect, and act with intention, rather than being driven by external forces. When you choose silence, you aren't just avoiding making noise, you're taking control of the situation. By withholding immediate reactions, you keep your emotions in check and prevent others from easily swaying you. This act of restraint is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, those who speak less are often seen as more in control. People may underestimate the power of a quiet person, but in truth, they're the ones who are the most in control of the narrative. Silence allows you to assess situations carefully and see through manipulation. I want you to imagine this. You're sitting at a negotiation table, and the other party is trying to rush you into a decision. They use tactics to provoke an emotional response, perhaps a bit of urgency or guilt. What if you stayed calm, maintained silence, and didn't fall into the trap of reacting. In that silence, you gain the power to think critically and make an informed decision that's in your best interest. Now think about poker players, those masters of silence and composure. When they sit at the table, their faces are unreadable, their movements minimal. They use silence to protect their strategies, ensuring no one can see their next move. This same principle can apply to your life. By keeping your words measured and thoughtful, you maintain control over your decisions and your personal power. Silence is an incredible defense in both big and small moments. Whether you're dealing with persuasion in the workplace, your personal life, or even the noise of social media, it allows you to be deliberate in your responses and avoid making decisions based on emotion or pressure. So, the next time you feel like someone is trying to manipulate or rush you, I want you to remember this simple truth. Silence is your shield. It's a tool of self-preservation that allows you to stay grounded, make better decisions, and maintain control over your own life. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that by controlling our speech, we could control our fate. So ask yourself, how often do I respond impulsively, and what could I achieve if I took a step back to observe before reacting? The real power lies not in speaking more, but in choosing silence when it matters most. By practicing silence, you protect yourself from manipulation and become more intentional in your choices, leading you to true success and peace. You've just taken a significant step in mastering self-control. Silence isn't just about avoiding noise, it's about taking command of your decisions, your emotions, and ultimately, your life. Now I want to hear from you. How can you use silence to protect yourself from manipulation in your own life? Drop a comment with the phrase, "Silence is my shield," to let us know how you're applying this powerful Stoic secret. Keep going. You're on the path to making intentional, thoughtful choices that will lead to lasting success and inner peace. Number 7. Brings inner peace. In today's world, where we're constantly bombarded with distractions, demands, and the relentless noise of modern life, finding inner peace can feel like an impossible task. It's no surprise that so many of us struggle with stress, anxiety, and mental exhaustion. Our minds are constantly running, overwhelmed by the external world. But what if I told you that silence could be your sanctuary, the key to unlocking the inner peace that so many of us crave? In the chaos of life, silence offers us a precious moment to step away from the noise and reconnect with our true selves. It creates a space where mental clarity and emotional stability can flourish. By practicing silence, we invite peace into our minds, allowing our thoughts to settle and giving us the ability to reflect more clearly and make better decisions. You see, inner peace doesn't just happen on its own. It has to be nurtured. Think of your mind as a turbulent sea. When it's churning with stress, distractions, and endless demands, it can't reflect clearly. But when we embrace silence, it's like allowing the waves to settle. Suddenly the waters become still, and we can see things more clearly with greater perspective. This clarity is essential not just for personal well-being, but for making better choices in life, navigating challenges with calm, and building a resilience that helps us face adversity without losing our sense of peace. Have you ever noticed how noise, whether it's the chatter of social media, constant news updates, or the pressure to always be on, can leave you feeling drained and overwhelmed? Silence gives us the power to disconnect from all that. It allows us to retreat inward and find tranquility, as Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often reminded us. He believed that true peace comes from within, not from the outside world. By embracing silence, we can detach from the noise and develop a stronger connection to our inner selves, which in turn makes us less reactive to the drama and negativity around us. And this isn't just a theory, it's something that countless wise figures throughout history have practiced, including Buddhist monks who dedicate years to silent meditation. They achieve a profound inner peace, unaffected by external events, and this peace is something that anyone can cultivate. It's not limited to monks or spiritual masters. It's available to you and me if we're willing to embrace the discipline of silence. Whether through meditation, long walks in nature, or simply cutting down on unnecessary chatter, we all have the ability to experience this inner tranquility. Silence doesn't just calm our minds. It equips us with the mental fortitude to stay centered in an increasingly chaotic world. So, I want to ask you, when was the last time you allowed yourself the gift of silence? When did you last disconnect from the noise and simply sit with your thoughts? The practice of silence isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, especially in a world that constantly demands more of us. By incorporating more quiet moments into your day, you can begin to experience the profound benefits of inner peace. It's not about escaping life, it's about learning to navigate it with composure no matter what comes your way. Embrace the practice of silence, and you'll not only find greater peace within yourself, but you'll also build the resilience needed to face life's challenges with grace. This is one of the core lessons of modern Stoicism, the ability to remain grounded in silence regardless of the chaos around us is what truly leads to a fulfilling and balanced life. Number 8. Makes your words more powerful. In today's noisy world, many equate constant talking with intelligence, influence, or authority. People often feel the need to fill every silence with words, believing that speaking more somehow increases their importance. However, the opposite is often true. Those who speak less but say more tend to make the greatest impact. Silence amplifies the power of our words, ensuring that when we do speak, our words carry weight. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This insight teaches us to choose our words carefully and not waste them on trivial matters. Embracing silence makes us more intentional with our speech, speaking only when we have something valuable to contribute. This is one of the Stoic secrets that can significantly improve how we communicate and connect with others. Practicing silence also helps us become better listeners. In a world where everyone is eager to voice their opinions, we often find ourselves waiting for our turn to talk rather than fully listening. Silence breaks this pattern, allowing us to absorb what others are saying and respond thoughtfully. By listening more than we speak, we gain a deeper understanding of conversations and can build stronger relationships. This shift from being a talker to a listener enhances our ability to understand underlying motivations and communicate more effectively. Silence, when used wisely, becomes a form of leadership in itself. People begin to respect us not for how much we talk, but for how well we listen and respond. Many successful individuals, business leaders, negotiators, and diplomats have mastered the strategic use of silence. A well-timed pause can be more powerful than a lengthy speech. For instance, in a business negotiation, an executive who takes a moment of silence to reflect before responding often creates an atmosphere of authority and confidence. This pause signals that the speaker is thoughtful, deliberate, and in control. The other party begins to realize that this person doesn't rush into decisions, but carefully considers their words, making them more impactful. Silence also helps protect us from saying things we might regret. Once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. A hasty comment made in the heat of the moment can cause lasting harm in both personal and professional relationships. Silence gives us the time to pause, reflect, and ensure that when we speak, we have something meaningful to say. The fewer words we use, the more weight they carry. By exercising restraint, we create an environment where our words are more thoughtful and impactful, rather than impulsive and regrettable. In today's world, where constant communication and information overload often dilute the value of our words, mastering silence is a powerful skill. Silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a tool that enhances communication, builds stronger relationships, and increases personal influence. When we embrace silence, we begin to notice how people start listening more attentively when we speak. By carefully choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, we create a balance that leads to more meaningful conversations and deeper connections. This is one of the Stoic secrets, the wisdom to know that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is say nothing at all, letting the weight of our silence speak volumes. As we wrap up today's discussion on 6 reasons why silence is your secret to success, remember that silence is not just the absence of noise. It is a powerful tool for personal growth, happiness, and true success. In a world that constantly demands attention and validation, embracing silence allows you to stand apart. By practicing modern Stoicism, you strengthen your focus, build resilience, and develop a deeper connection with yourself and others. The Stoic secrets lie in the power of reflection, thoughtfulness, and restraint, values that silence helps cultivate. I encourage you to reflect on how you can integrate more silence into your life and share your thoughts below. How has silence helped you find clarity or strength? Let's continue this journey toward a more intentional life together. Thank you for watching Stoic in Your Life. Embrace silence and watch your life transform.